The Amazon FBA gurus are not telling you the truth. Shocking, right? I've sold over $4 million on Amazon, so in this video, I want to address a lot of the ugly truths about selling on Amazon. I've had the privilege of teaching thousands of people how to be successful Amazon sellers, but I want to be fully transparent with what Amazon actually looks like, a full picture before you dive in and commit a ton of money. Ugly truth number one is that Amazon requires capital, which I know isn't shocking. Obviously, you have to spend money to make money selling products on Amazon, but I want to show you some hard numbers to show you how hard your goals might actually be to hit. So for example, over here on the revenue calculator here, this is just a super simple spreadsheet I threw together, but let's say so far this year, you've sold $20,000, and to sell that 20K, you've spent $10,000 on products. That's a pretty standard breakdown, and most sellers will be right around half of their revenue being just the cost of goods sold on the items that they were selling. So basically what that means here is that if you have really high aspirations and you want to do $100,000 a month on Amazon, super possible, by the way, I don't want this to discourage you from starting an Amazon business. I just want you to be aware that if you want to sell $100,000 a month, that's going to mean that you're spending $50,000 a month on products, right? Or break it down by day, an average of about $1,700 per day on profitable inventory. There's a high chance you cannot spend $50,000 a month on inventory right now, but when I started my Amazon business, I definitely couldn't either. I had $1,500 in my bank account, and I grew that $1,500 into my business that now does over $2 million a year. Before you start an Amazon business, I'd really recommend you have at least about $1,000 to $2,000, and then you can continue snowballing your money from there. But unless you already have a ton of money to get your business started, you're going to have to reinvest the vast majority of what you're actually making. And so hopefully you're not expecting to be buying Lambos and all the kind of stuff on Instagram within a couple months. As you grow your business, I like the idea of pulling some money for personal use, even from the very start. Get in the habit of pulling 1% of the profit that your Amazon business makes, so that in the very beginning, it's paying for a cup of coffee a month. Next month, it buys you a nice dinner, and so on. That 1% really doesn't make logical sense, but emotionally, it's going to make you feel so much more legit about how this money is real. It's all coming in. You're paying yourself just a little bit to make it feel real, that you're actually making money, moving all this money around with products on Amazon. Because I know that was something that I definitely fell into. My life didn't change at all, despite my numbers on Amazon getting bigger. And so I wished I had pulled just like a tiny bit of profit so that I could see what that actually looked like. And then once you get your Amazon business to the point where you can pull a legitimate salary out of your business, I like the rough metric of doubling that salary that you want to make in profit. So for example, if you want to make $4,000 a month from your business, start pulling that $4,000 a month when your business is making $8,000. Because if you're pulling all the money you're making, your business can't grow, and it's just going to stay perpetually stuck at 10K, 50K a month, wherever you're stuck. The next ugly truth about selling on Amazon is that there's a lot of competition. If you're buying the same products everyone else is, buying them from the same websites, same suppliers, not getting any discounts negotiated or using coupons, your items are probably not going to make very much money. The truth is, with so many sellers out there, you need to find some small way to stand out. And I think the smartest way to stand out beyond your competitors is to partner up with your competitors, which probably sounds crazy. But as an Amazon seller, your competition is only competition if you let them be. You need to be finding a handful of other Amazon sellers you can bounce ideas off of, source products with, and teach them literally everything about Amazon. Because when you find the right people, they're going to do the exact same. They're going to send you products leads. They're going to send you everything they know about Amazon, and everyone gets richer together. For me, making friends and talking to the competition, which I was so scared of, is what grew my business from about $20,000 to $30,000 a month to well over 6 figures a month. Another ugly truth about Amazon is that it is not a passive business, despite which all the other people out there saying it's not passive. In fact, I think passive income is a lie in general. There's very few things that are truly 100% passive. Take dividend stocks, for example. All you do is put some money in that stock, and then they end up paying you however often that company pays out dividends. With something like Amazon, it's not going to be passive. You have to do all of the work of finding products, shipping it off to Amazon, and the gurus like to call it passive when really you've done all that work. It doesn't make it passive just because Amazon shipped it out the last second and did a little bit of customer service at the end. The truth of the matter is that Amazon requires a ton of setup effort. My first year on Amazon, I probably could have just got a desk job and made more money. But because I didn't get a desk job and I was willing to reinvest, work really hard, and not see a ton of return for the first little bit, my Amazon business was able to grow and scale to the point where I give myself massive raises every year, way beyond the 3 to 10% any desk job might give you in a raise. Not to mention the fact that you get schedule flexibility and all that good stuff. What I want you to remember in the beginning of your Amazon business is that it's gonna suck. It takes hard work. That's why most people don't make it through that process and never make it to the point in their Amazon business where they actually get to make real money. But once you make it through that period of hard work, not really knowing what you're doing and trying to learn the ropes, you're eventually going to be able to fully outsource your work in the business. In fact, my business, I work less than an hour a day on, and we're making more money than my Amazon business has ever made before. But that's all on the back of putting in the hard work, knowing that it's not passive income and that it requires setup effort. And as you are scaling your Amazon business, the next thing you need to remember is that you're playing your own game. It's going to be really tempting to look around and see Billy Bob's doing 100K a month and he started 6 months ago, and Sue, she just did 50K in her second month. But the reality, those are the outliers. There's a reason that those are awesome success stories to look at, is because the average Amazon seller, including me, is not going to grow insanely fast. In fact, it took me over a year to sell my first $100,000 on Amazon. And even I look at a lot of the new sellers who start today, hit 100K twice as fast as I did, and man, what did I do wrong? But the most important thing you need to remember in your business is that you're playing your own game. As long as you get better every day and you're satisfied with the amount of effort that you put in, you're feeling confident that your business is going to grow, that's a huge win, and you should celebrate that. Because at the end of the day, this brings us into our next ugly truth, and that's that Amazon has a lot of platform risk. And so for a lot of those guys and gals who are out there scaling super fast, a lot of them are going to be leveraging credit and doing things that might be a little bit higher risk, which is something that I was personally never super comfortable with in my Amazon business. There was literally one time, it was a holidays a long time ago, and that was the only time that I spent more money than I actually had putting some inventory on credit, and it worked out, but it was higher risk. And if Amazon had decided to shut down my account, giving me an IP complaint, an inauthentic complaint, there's a lot of little things that Amazon can do completely out of your control, and especially from brands. Even if you're in the right legally 100% of the time, there's still going to be platform risk that something can come up. Your sales might slow down for a couple days. You might get completely suspended for a week or two. And so it's really important to remember that Amazon has platform risk. As with basically any business you can start today, it relies on building your business on another business's foundation, and you have to play by their rules. So I personally like to play it safe and never over leveraged on credit, but just remember that if you do go out there and spend a bunch of money on credit, that Amazon is a risky platform. And even though I've been selling for 6 years the same seller account, there's been short periods of time where I can get a big headache. I can't sell a certain brand. I can't even sell at all. We've always gotten it worked out, but just keep it in mind that you need to have a game plan in case something goes awry. Another ugly truth I want to tackle here is talking about price tanking. And this is a really common complaint that I hear from a lot of new Amazon sellers is, hey, I bought this item and the price dropped and I made no profit. A lot of times price tanking comes down to the fact that you didn't buy it at the right level of discount. I have tons of videos on my channel showing you how to add extra margin, doing a lot of creative things to get your inventory as cheap as possible. But a huge culprit for tanking is new sellers not knowing how to price inventory. So I want to give you a super important gem, and that's that you don't have to be the cheapest price on a listing or even matching the price of the cheapest offer to be making sales on a product. You want to make sure you're pricing your inventory at the Amazon buy box. So on the add to cart button, make sure your price is that price or even a little bit higher. And especially if you're using a repricing software, make sure that repricing software is not undercutting the price of other sellers, because a huge culprit for price tanking is other new sellers or even you lowering your price, not understanding how the buy box on Amazon works. Because as long as you have the fastest shipping speed, usually Amazon FBA, and your price is within a couple percent of that buy box price, even if it's a little bit higher, you're going to make just as many sales as the other sellers who are in that same situation. So essentially, you should never undercut the buy box unless you're doing it on purpose, and then do it by a substantial enough amount that you get to hog all the sales. Because if you're undercutting by a penny, they're still going to make just as many sales, and it starts a race to the bottom. At the end of the day, though, selling on Amazon for the last 5 years has completely changed my life. It took me from broke college kid to owning multiple 7-figure businesses, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But before you start selling on Amazon, I want to make sure you have the full picture, keep all this kind of stuff in mind, and know that any business you can start is going to have pitfalls, and those are the major ones with Amazon. If you want to dig deeper and learn how to sell on Amazon the correct way, using a way that actually scales, I'll leave a link down below. I've got a completely free Amazon seller beginner course for you. There's over 3 hours of videos, some downloadable guides, auto ungating ASINs, basically everything you need to sell your first $10,000 on Amazon. It's linked below in the Amazon Launchpad. It's completely free. And while you're here, also let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. I'm always happy to answer those for you guys. Please feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you next time.